Good day! Today we're going deep to one of the most important turning point sa Philippine history, the transition from military government to civil government. And central to that is the Sherman Commission, or the First Philippine Commission. So if you ever wondered, where did the Philippines get the American-style governance at kung bakit hindi agad nabigay sa atin ng ating kalayaan, this video will give you the full picture. Okay, let's set the scene first. Noong 1898, after the Spanish-American War, Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States through the Treaty of Paris, where the Filipinos had already declared independence under Emilio Aguinaldo. So imagine the tension. Spain surrendered the Philippines to the United States, pero tayo mismo, we already had our own revolutionary government. So napakagulo, and it made a big question kung paano nga pamamahalaan ng Pilipinas. So President William McKinley of United States created the Sherman Commission in 1899. Ngunit ano nga ba ang Sherman Commission? It aims to understand the needs of Filipinos and propose measures to maintain order and development. The Commission interviewed various groups, studied social conditions, and assessed local governance. Its findings shaped early American policies in the archipelago. Overall, the Sherman Commission marked the first major U.S. effort to establish a civil government in the Philippines. So basically, it is a fact-finding mission. Their job was to study the conditions in the Philippines, socially, politically, and economically, and then recommend what kind of government the U.S. should establish here. In other words, sila yung unang official US government group na nag-aral at nag-decide kung paano bubuuin ang bagong sistema sa Pilipinas under American rule. Para maging successful ito, si US President William McKinley ay nag-appoint ng 5 members na pag-aralan ang Pilipinas. They traveled and interviewed Filipinos from different backgrounds, studied local governance, and observed social conditions. Included ang mga elites dito, local leaders, ordinary residents, and even Americans stationed in the Philippines. They assessed education, law, at marami pang iba. Una dyan ay si Jacob Gould Sherman. Si Jacob Gould Sherman ang chairman ng Sherman Commission. Pinanganak siya noong May 22, 1854 sa Canada. Nag-aral siya sa iba't ibang bansa at nakatanggap ng recognition as a philosopher. He also became a president of Cornell University in 1892 to 1920. Pangalawa ay si George Dewey. Nagsilbi siyang naval advisor ng commission. Pinanganak siya noong December 26, 1837. Attended the U.S. Naval Academy and graduated in 1858. He also served as the Union Navy during the American Civil War. Became the only person in U.S. history to hold the rank of Admiral of the Navy. Tinawag din siyang hero ng Battle of Manila Bay dahil siya ang nanguna upang labanan ang mga Espanyol noong 1898. Pangatlo ay si Elwell Otis. Siya ay military member ng Sherman Commission. Pinanganak siya noong March 25, 1838 sa Maryland, USA. Nag-aral din siya ng abogasya sa Harvard University at nakapag-graduate noong 1861. He was also known as a famous Indian fighter and later promoted to Major General in the US Army. Nagsilbi rin siyang military governor ng Pilipinas noong 1899. Pang-apat ay si Dean Conant Worcester na ipinanganak noong October 1, 1866 sa USA. Graduate ng zoology sa University of Michigan noong 1889. He also served in the Philippines as a Secretary of the Interior in 1901 to 1913. He also pushed public health sanitation and infrastructure here in the Philippines. Panghuli ay si Charles Harvey Denby na ipinanganak noong June 16, 1830 sa Virginia, USA. He served as a Union Army colonel during the American Civil War and also worked as a lawyer and politician in Indiana, USA. And he was also active in the Democratic Party. He was appointed U.S. Minister to China in 1885 to 1898. gaining deep knowledge about East Asian affairs. After a thorough study, the Sherman Commission suggested that the United States should set up a civil government, bicameral legislature, and start a public school system in the Philippines. President McKinley set a regulative principles that outlined how the U.S. should govern the Philippines, at isa-isahin natin ang mga principles na ito. Una dyan ay U.S. supremacy. American dominance must and will be upheld throughout the archipelago, and anyone who opposes it will only end up in their own destruction. Sabi nila, American control must remain kasi feeling nila, Philippines was not ready for full independence yet. Ito ang pinaka-core ng recommendations nila. Pangalawa ay limited self-government. The Filipino will be provided freedom and self-government that is compatible with the United States, sovereign and international rights and obligations, while maintaining a prudent, just, stable, efficient, and cost-effective management of public affairs. They said Filipinos could govern themselves to a certain extent, pero kailangan pa rin ng US supervision. Civil rights and equality. The Filipino people's civil rights will be fully protected and guaranteed. Religious freedom will be protected, and everyone will be treated equally and with equal legal standing. Civil liberties like freedom of religion, equal treatment under the law, at protection from abuse daw must be guaranteed. Pang-apat ay no exploitation. The use of the Philippine people or the island they call home as a commodity or a tool of exploitation is prohibited by honor, justice, and friendship. The welfare and development of the Filipino people is the American government's top priority. They emphasize na hindi dapat gamitin ang Pilipinas for economic exploitation. Ang priority daw ay welfare ng Filipino people. Panglima ay civil rights reforms. To the greatest extent possible, natives will be employed in the public service, which will be honest and efficient for the people of the Philippines. As much as possible, Filipinos should be hired in public service para matuto at eventually makapag-self-govern na. Pang-anim ang sound fiscal system. Taxes will be collected fairly and used only for essential government expenses and public improvements, with funds kept within the community. Honest fiscal management is expected to allow for future tax deductions. Taxes should be fair and used only for public benefit, with transparency. So with that statement, gusto nilang magkaroon ng transparent na pamamahala. Pang-pito ay ang administration of justice. There will be a clean, efficient, and quick administration of justice, allowing the ills of corruption, exploitation, and delay to be eliminated. The Commission wanted to eliminate corruption and delays in courts, so bawal ang corrupt. Pangwalo, ang infrastructure development. The building of roads, trains, and other public works projects that clearly benefit the Filipino people would be encouraged. Huge focus on building roads, railways, and public facilities ang kanilang nirekomenda upang umunlad ang ekonomiya. Pang-siyam ang economic growth. Agriculture, trade, and other industrial endeavors that contribute to the overall growth of the nation in the best interest of its citizens, both domestically and internationally, will be the focus of ongoing solicitude and nurturing care. They promote agriculture, trade, and industry para maging stable ang buhay ng tao. Pang-sampu ang edukasyon. The construction of primary schools where the public's children can receive an education will be effectively supported, and suitable facilities for higher education will be made available. Isa ito sa pinakamahalaga, ang mabigyan ng edukasyon ang mga Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng pagpapatayo ng public schools at pagsuporta sa higher education. Pang-11 o panghuli ang government reforms. Reform all branches of government and public service with transparency, justice, and fairness to meet the people's aspiration. Overall, kailangan ng transparency, fairness, and efficiency sa lahat ng sangay ng gobyerno. At iyon ang mga 11 prinsipal na inilabas ni President William McKinley patungkol sa Sherman Commission. Pag-usapan na nga natin ngayon kung ano nga ba ang mga naging reaksyon ng mga Pilipino patungkol sa Sherman Commission. Unahin na natin ang mga positibong reaksyon ng mga Pilipino. The first is, the Commission recognized the desire for self-government and it was welcomed and acknowledged by many Filipinos. This gave people a hope that their struggle for independence was being heard. At marami ang nagkaroon ng pag-asa at welcome ang idea ng komisyon. Ikalawa, the establishment of public elementary schools, local government reform, and promise of legislative representation were seen by some Filipinos as stepping stones toward more meaningful participation in the government. Pangatlo, many believe that this might lead to a more peaceful and organized self-governance. Since nakalaya na ang Pilipino sa pamamahala ng mga militar, maraming naniwala na ito na ang simula ng mas peaceful at organized na governance. Ngunit sa kabila ng mga positibong reaksyon, meron din namang mga Pilipino ang hindi nasiyahan at nagalit. First is, many Filipinos felt insulted when the Commission claimed that there was no Philippine nation. Also, the Commissioner's racist behavior, calling the Muslim Filipinos heathens, and saying that America must first eliminate the Mohammedan. Pangalawa, the Commission didn't promise an immediate independence, and war continued and the US maintained control, leading to mistrust. Many believe that the recommendations were meant to make the colonial rule look kinder, not to grant freedom. Pangatlo, the Commission proceeded slowly and US stayed in control. Many people were angered and believed that the new schools and government programs were just ways to favor American interests, such as foreign policy and tariff arrangements. The fact na walang promise of independence, it made people feel that the reforms were just made para mabawas-bawasan ang inis sa kanila sa kanilang pananakop. But even with the negative reactions, the Commission's recommendations helped the Philippines to move from military government to civil government. Despite the controversies, the Commission's influenced major changes, like blueprint for local government. The Commission laid the government for the local government reforms such as local code and provincial governance. Second is legislative foundations. The Commission's recommendations included establishing a bicameral legislature for the Philippines. This proposal pointed toward representative governance and law-making roles for the Filipinos. And lastly, the birth of Taft Commission. The recommendation reports influenced the appointment of the Taft Commission or the Second Philippine Commission in March 1900s under William H. Taft, which implemented legislative, judicial, and civil service reforms. To conclude, the Sherman Commission left a lasting mark on Philippine history. It opened schools, suggested local government reforms, and tried to stabilize the country after war. However, it also denied immediate independence, showing the limits of American promises. For many Filipinos, the Commission symbolized both progress and control under foreign rule. Its work highlighted the clash between Filipino aspirations for freedom and America's colonial agenda. While it helped lay foundations for governance, it also deepened the debate over self-rule. Sherman Commission remains a reminder of both reform and restraint during the early American period.